They say small towns are fading away. But here, in Hamlet, Indiana, some things still endure. Faith, family, community, and the deep connection between a farmer and the land. For more than 100 years, the Pflugshaupt family has called this place home. Through changing seasons, changing times, and changing generations, their roots have remained here, woven into the story of this town and the fields that surround it.
Pflugshaupt have been in Hamlet since the late 1880s when they came from Switzerland. Hi, I'm Robin Pflugshaupt. I'm a fifth-generation farmer. I've lived in the Hamlet area here my whole life, and I've been farming at least part-time since 1980. Well, I didn't really want to be a farmer when I graduated from high school. I wanted to be a basketball coach, and after I got through college, I changed my mind and decided something in agriculture was what I wanted to do. So I got my first job was with Production Credit in LaPorte County, Indiana. I worked there from 1978 to 1989. Grandpa Otto passed away in 1988, and of course I was still working at Production Credit at the time. My dad had come to me and said that he was going to give up some of the rented ground if I didn't want to come back to farm. And so Becky and I talked about it, and I didn't really want to give up a paycheck I knew was going to be there all the time. So we did agree to it and thought that lifestyle would better suit us than what we had. And so I was going to quit my job in the spring of '89 and go full-time farming.
I'm proud of all the family. My name is Otto Eugene Pflugshaupt, and I've lived here since I was 7 years old. Well, it's amazing to me how it has grown just by passing time. We kept up with the modern stuff, and the son kept up with the modern stuff, and it's a legacy of the family, and that's why I'd like to see it stay in the family. It was brought to life with my grandfather and grandmother. The Childs family came here a long time ago. They were, I think, from England and had slaves, and the family split because part of the family didn't agree with slavery. That was on my mother's side. On my father's side, they came here from Switzerland.
All of the Pflugshaupt that came from Switzerland were farmers. And then been in Hamlet since the late 1880s. Gottlieb married a girl that he had met in Chicago who was from Germany, and that was Teresa Barbknecht. They happened to be the first couple that were married in the Lutheran Church in Hamlet, Indiana. His youngest son, Otto, is my grandfather. Otto, and he married Esther Childs, which is Esther's family had the farm where my dad lives now.
My grandfather and my father and his sister, they growed onions in that field right across the road. It didn't belong to them. I don't know who the field belonged to, but that's something that probably nobody knows too much about.
Somebody's lived on that farm in our family for well over 100 years now. So. Well,
I remember a lot of things when I get to thinking back, and when I look at some old pictures that we had, things that I've forgotten, it's been so long. I never expected to live to 92, but here I am. When I first started out at high school, we had a 2-row corn planter that I took over from my father, and Master Harris tractor was his, and I had bought a Co-op E3 when I started helping him, and gradually just transferred to us.
Well, when I started farming, Dad had one cab tractor. Everything else was open air tractors, and he bought that just the year I graduated from high school.
I probably couldn't even drive the tractor that he drives now because it's so much bigger. And I think we had 12-row corn planter when about the time I was slacking off on my help. I worked off and on for him till I was 73.
Yeah, another thing that's changed so much since then is the technology. I mean, auto steer tractors, and the creature comforts are so much more in the machinery than what they used to be. So you got the yield monitors and combines and tractors now that pretty much drive themselves. Even they've got them now that even turn on the ends by themselves, but I never had the opportunity to work with those.
90 cents a bushel and a dollar a bushel, and that was a good price. Now you can change that much in one day. Jumps up and down quite a bit. Nobody would ever dreamt at one of my time it would be like that.
Well, that's pretty much the way agriculture is. It's a system of high and lows. You have to be able to manage your money, and when times are good, you store it up and to be able to survive the bad times.
Well, all the corn was picked on the ear when I started. We had a corn crib that we shoveled 500 bushel on one side and 250 bushel on the other side. Now it's all shoveled in the field and taken right to town or taken right to storage and dried and stored. It's a whole different world than what I farmed when I started. Our family sold Pioneer seed corn for 3 generations. My father, me, and my son.
My grandfather started selling in 1948, and I just retired from it here a couple years ago. So we sold Pioneer seed corn for over 75 years, which is quite an accomplishment, I think. So, well, there was a lot of change in the price of seed. When my grandpa started, it was probably close to $7 to $8 to $10 a bag. Some of the last bags that I sold were well over $400 a bag. So, of course, yields have come up drastically too with different hybrids, going to single crosses and that type of stuff. The technology and genetics have changed drastically in that industry as well. So, Grandpa started selling maybe 100 bags at a time. We were not real big even during the times that I was selling.
There was a little extra income for the farm. It softened up the hard spots.
And it was nice to be able to communicate with the farmers and peers that I do business with. Grandpa, he started with he had some dairy cattle and milked a little bit, not large by any stretch of the imagination. And then my dad and him both had Hereford cattle, and then my dad started crossing with Charolais cattle. About the time I was a senior in high school, I think, I bought the first Simmental heifer that we ever had. We started raising, we crossed everything with the Simmental bulls, and eventually got to a purebred status. And my dad and I both went to ABS AI school to learn how to do it ourselves. It was an enjoyable experience too, and it was nice to be able to see the growth and the genetics that we had, and we had some good calves. We were fortunate our children were both able to take calves to the 4-H fair and won several awards with them. It was a good experience, but we got rid of them about 5 or 6 years ago, just got to be with our age. Well, I hated to see them go, but I always miss them in the spring when they're calving. But in the wintertime when it's 40 below zero and the water fountains are all froze, and I don't miss them quite so much then. So.
Yeah, I loved horses. Ever since the big workhorses, I had a pony that they got about, I think, $50 for it when we lived on that first farm. And he was a nice pony, but he felt like throwing you off. Why, it didn't take long to dump you on the ground. And then after that, I had bigger horses. I had them for quite a while. It was a hobby of mine. Always just kept growing. As each year went by, things got a little bigger and a little bigger until it became what it is.
I'm very thankful for what I've got. I had no idea I would be where I am today.
Well, I guess I've had it pretty good. I've had some sickness. I've had a good wife that backed me up in things. The family's always been worked together happy. They didn't quarrel or squabble.
Thankful for my children and my grandchildren. I wouldn't be here without her either, so she's done a lot. The first few years that I was farming full time was pretty tough, so she was able to stand by me. She always had the house run like needed to be run. She took care of the finances, the banking, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of love in the family, and the kids. Sorry, I won't be here long enough to see the little ones grow up, but I'll maybe be watching from upstairs.
Well, we all love you very much. I hope you know that. The kids, too. They're so excited to come see you.
Well, I'm always happy to see them.
For more than a century, God's faithfulness has been seen in every season. In times of abundance, in times of uncertainty, in the fields, in the family.
Love you.
Say love you. Oh! And in the community we've helped build. The harvest of a lifetime isn't measured only in acres or bushels, but in the generations who carry the legacy forward.
I know Grandpa would be proud of what we done.